guys. I thought I should do this on Zoom so you guys could at least see my face while I'm going over this stuff so it doesn't get too boring. I promise not to make this too long because I know it can get irritating when a video goes on forever and forever. So I guess today we were going to discuss like MLA formatting and what else? The library databases. So traditionally, what we do is we take our students to CCNY's library, which is on, I think, the first floor. And they usually have, they're in a computer lab, and there's a librarian helping them out step by step on, like, how to access articles and journals, etc., because they are the ones that are, informed about these things. Since we're doing this online, I guess I am the librarian for today, so I'll try to go over these things as best as I possibly can, but I might make mistakes here and there. So I apologize for that in advance. And yeah, hopefully I can do this all in one take and I don't make too many mistakes. But that's just my, optimism. Right. So what I am going to do is go over the MLA thingy. I'll minimize myself and put myself in the little corner right here. So this, as you can see, is Purdue Owl. And what this website, I will link all of the websites, by the way, in the description box. And I might also link them to you guys in the email that I send out, linking you guys to this stuff, okay? So this is one of my most favorite websites as a student. You can find all of the what I don't know what are they called, the guidelines, like the APA, MLA, and all the other stuff on this website. And do keep in mind that for some reason, I don't know why, but these guidelines change from like year to year. So this is the website that keeps people up to date about all the little changes that are made. And there are some things that stay consistent throughout the year. So I think as a student, this is your best resource. So let's see. I'm at the MLA page where they talk about citations and stuff, and this is just a sample works cited page. It is here. This is a sample works cited page, and I just wanted you guys to like take a little look at it. For example, as you can see, the works cited page is centered. It's titled works cited. It is not italicized. It is not in quotations. It's just works cited in the center of the paper. I guess they didn't give like they didn't give like a full view of what it looks like, but at the side, right here at the left right hand corner, would be your last name and the page number of this works cited page. That's something I'll discuss pretty soon, maybe when I go to the MLA sample paper. So as you can see, it is organized from by the author's last name, right? So the author's last name goes first, and then the author's first name, and all the information. I guess this is the name of the article, and then you have where they got that from. So they got it from the New York Times. When this article was published, then they gave us a little a little link to that website, and then they wrote where they last accessed it. The most important thing, because the formatting itself changes depending on the kind of medium you're looking at. So this is obviously online, so they used accessed. They gave their readers a sense of when they last accessed this page. But it does change depending on what you're looking at. Like, for example, this is a review journal, American Economic Review, so they don't have like an access page here because it's supposedly in print, right? So they just have the title, in quotations, and then they have the name of the journal, and then they have what volume it was, the number, etc. Yeah, so depending on the medium that you're looking at, this is going to look sort of different. The only thing that stays consistent is that it is, again, organized by the author's name in alphabetical order. So D, E, G, and also there is a hanging indent. So once you make it to that second line, you have to hang it. So you indent it by 0.5 inches, I think. Let me look at my notes. I do this 0.5 inches, right? I do this automatically because I've gotten so used to doing MLA format. But for those of you guys that are new, that's kind of like a thing. And it is a pain in the ass trying to indent that second line. But you know, I believe in you guys. You guys can do it. The all of the sources are double spaced, right? And there is no extra space in between the the sources, right? Which is why it's easier for the person looking at your paper to read through this whole thing if you have like that second line indented and all of the lines following that, so we know which little piece belongs to which source, right? Cool. Again, if you go through like the whole site, like for example, it shows you where you can, let's say I want to cite a book. It gives you the guidelines for what the proper formatting would be for like books, you know, and whether or not, you know, look, it's also pretty cool because sometimes it shows you how to cite books with one author, books with more than one author, books with no author or no names. It has literally everything. So this is my favorite website. Basic. So it has all of the little, it has anything that you can think of, like any questions that you have about MLA formatting, it's in this website. And then I guess another thing that I might want to show you guys is the MLA sample paper, since it has the full-blown criteria. So if you're looking at this with me, I know it's kind of hard to see since it's in a little corner here, but it shows you like the proper formatting of what an MLA paper looks like, because some of you guys are more used to APA, and it kind of it's a little different from APA, so you want to get familiar with this as well. So you have your name, your first name, and then your last name, your professor's name here, then the subject and the course number, and then the date that you wrote this paper or started writing this paper, and then you have the last name, your last name, and then you have the page number. So this is the first page of this person's essay, so they have Angeli 1, right? And then they have the title of their paper is centered. Your paper should have titles, by the way. Everything is written in 12-point font, 12-point font, Times New Roman. It is not bolded, underlined, or italicized. The whole paper is double spaced, which is awesome. Let's see what else there is. So it says here that, you know, it requires double spacing throughout the whole document, just so it's easier for everyone to read. You could have titles, subtitles. I'm not, like headings, it's not required, but, you know, it helps with the structure and organization of your paper, so you can include that if you want. Let's see, I want to show you guys what a block text would look like. So when you're, there you go. So you use a block quotation when you're copying more than 4 lines from a specific source or a book, right? So if it's 3 lines, you put it, if it's 3 lines or less, you put it in quotations, and you know, you keep it within that body of body paragraph that you're writing in, right? But if you're taking, I was going to say stealing, but you know, you're not really stealing. If you're taking more than 4 lines from a book, I highly recommend that you don't do that. But if you do and you have to, what you do is you use block quotations, right? And you don't put it in quotation marks like you normally would when you take direct quotes. But what you do is you begin a new line, right? And you indent 1/2 inch from the margin. Yeah, and that is pretty much about it. And then when you're doing in-text citations, if you know the name of the author or the person that's writing it, you put the author's last name in there, and then along with the page number that you're referring to. Unless you've already had, unless you already mentioned the author in that specific sentence, right? That's when you don't have to include the author, but that is generally how in-text citations work. And then it also shows you how to do MLA tables, figures, and stuff. If you guys are using like figures and tables and data, I suggest you take a look at like this page. It helps a lot. I relied on this website when I was a student so much, and now it's gotten to the point where I like kind of memorized it. But I think this is a good tool for you guys. Okay. So I guess the next part that I wanted to move on to, now that you guys have a resource to go back to for MLA things, is to move on to the CCNY Library database. So I guess I already have it out here. I'm gonna delete this, but what you do, I guess you can't see it. So it to get to CCNY's library webpage, you have to type in, I guess you can't really see it because my screen cuts off here. You have to type in library, right, .ccny.cuny.edu, and it should bring you to this page. So this is CCNY libraries, right? So once you get here, it shows you a lot of things. Sometimes if you're here at a specific time, it lets you talk to a librarian. So ask a librarian. I'm not sure if anyone's on right. Yeah. So usually, I think, I'm not sure, don't quote me on this, but when there is a librarian available and they're working, you could chat with them one-on-one, but I guess it's closed now since it's 6 p.m. So I guess you leave a message. Let me see. Hello. Showing my students that this works. Hello. Would it be okay if I get a response to show my students that you guys are here? This is kind of nerve-wracking because I feel like I'm just bothering them. Okay. I don't want to bother them. So let me just disconnect. Okay. But yeah, normally there's someone there live and they respond to your questions. So if you guys have any source of questions, you could direct it to them and chat. Cool. Please go away. All right. So let's go back to where we were. So I will show you guys how to use OneSearch in a moment, but one of my colleagues recommended that I show you guys this cool specific database called EBSCOhost, right? So in order to get to that database, you have to click on research, and then you click on databases, right? You go to E. So, oh, no thanks. So here you can find all of the databases. So it has humanities, life sciences, computer sciences, engineering, literature, like any any database that you're looking for. Look, Asian American drama, that's super cool. I guess these are databases that collect specific works in specific fields, right? Biography, reference bank, what is that? Biomed Central Journals. So even if you're in different fields, if you're not in, if you're not majoring in English, but you're majoring in engineering, this is still a useful site to familiarize yourself with. Has video tutorials. Okay, so my colleague said to go to E and click on EBSCOhost integrated search. I recommend that you guys follow along with me just so you know you could play around with it as well, which is why I kind of canceled today's class because I thought it'd be weird to have you guys stare at me and then tell you guys to do it yourself if you couldn't, follow along live. Right, so it takes you to this page, right? And considering that, we're not really looking for something in science and health, we could click on humanities, right? So you click on humanities, and once you click on a specific database that you're trying to look into, it allows you to make a search, right? I am not very familiar with this specific database. I think maybe you guys can familiarize yourselves with it if you find that you like it. That's the thing. Students usually they are introduced to this through the whole library database, but then they become comfortable with only one or two databases. Like for example, I am very comfortable with Jstor and Project Muse, and those are my go-to. Those are the only databases that I look into when I'm doing research, mainly because I realized that a lot of my research and their sort of database kind of collides in a nice way. So those are like my top picks. But you guys go through like databases that you like and then pick one that feels right for you and the kind of research that you're doing, right? So I don't know. I don't know how to use this. Maybe Amy 10. I really wish I was a librarian right now. They say I will pick Amy 10 and then I will search. And let's see what pops up. So these are all of these sorts of different things that will pop up when you type in Amy Tan's name. Since you guys I think everyone in the class probably has read Amy Tan, even if you were trying to slack. That's probably the only thing. Oh, nice. So, there's an article called The Challenges of Cultural Translation and the Problems of Immigrant Identity in Amy Tan's The Joy Luck Club. So that's something that might interest me if I am, talking about identity, right? If that was one of the bigger themes that I picked out from this course. Again, you want to get more specific than that, but just for the sake of, whatever I'm trying to show you, you you know this is something that might interest you. So it has translations identity. So here it gives you like a sort of background on the specific article or the specific book. What is this? This is published in India. That's awesome. Language in India. That's so crazy how something published in the US about, immigrant identity or Chinese identity is published in India. Nice. And the person that wrote this is Manjula Govindra Raj C. And it's a literary criticism. It's about translations, identity, psychology in literature, immigrants in literature, Amy Tan. These are the key words: challenges, immigrants, misunderstanding, relationships, the Joy Luck Club. Tells you who it talks about. It talks about Amy Tan. And then there's an abstract. Abstracts are useful if you're just trying to like skim through articles to find out whether or not it suits whatever you're trying to like whatever you're doing research on. So the Joy Luck Club is that traces the sentimental stories and relationships of 4 pairs of mothers and daughters. 10, I am blind. 10 develops a novel by handling the traditional Chinese beliefs to highlight the differences in values between mothers and daughters. Intense Jola Club, one of a team. Okay. So if this is something that interests me and like, kind of aligns with the sort of research I'm doing, I might click on PDF full text. And this is what it brings me to. And it allows you to go through this page and read through the whole thing. Is this the person that wrote it? Nice. That is so crazy. They're teaching Amy 10 in India. Wow. Um, I don't know. I guess I feel sort of happy by seeing this. So what you can do is you could read through it here, read through it on, or skim through the article. If you like it, you keep it by, downloading it. I guess you have to click on this. I am not going to download it for now because my computer is very cluttered. Where do I put myself? I'll put myself here. Okay. Otherwise, I guess you can, note down the name and then come back to see, like, if you want it later, you still have like a reference for it. Cool. Another cool feature that I've noticed is that, it gives you an option to cite it automatically. So what it does is it brings you here. So it has like, these are the options that pop up. So it has Brazilian National Standards, American Medical Association. There's APA, Chicago, Harvard. Why does Harvard get their own? That's not fair. We should make our own. Call it the CCNY, you know, uh, Language Association. So we are doing, an MLA works cited page. That's the format we're using. So what you guys can probably do is copy and paste whatever is here, and then, bam, you have your works cited. I do want you guys to pay attention to whether or not. What I do want you guys to pay attention to is whether or not that formatting is correct. So you might want to go over it and make sure that, the citation is in proper format, right? Don't get lazy like me. I am a very bad role model. Okay. So that is just a run through of, this specific database. You guys can play around with it more. You know what I might do? I might look at one more thing just to see like the scope of it. I never really figured out what all this is. So if you guys figure it out, share it with the class. Maybe what would I look for? Huh? Brailles. That's something that's been interesting me. Braille literacy. That's cool. So if you guys don't know, Braille is, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but it's how blind people learn how to read apparently, and it's like these bumpy circular text that pop out, not text, just circles that pop out of the page, and it represents a specific letter. I didn't know about this until like a week ago, and I've been super interested in that beforehand. So Braille literacy facing record low turns to tech, and this is a video result. I'm not gonna make you guys watch it, but there is not enough on Braille's. There's only 2 searches or 1. So what's in a word, label, phrase, term, etc. Again, if that's something that interests you, you click on it. You see whether or not they have like a PDF version of it. You go through it, you read through the abstract, see if it still interests you, then you read or skim through the whole article. If you don't like it, you move on with your life. Maybe you note down the title of the thing, of the article. If you do like it, you probably want to download it to your computer, right? Cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to um, oh, oh, one more thing to note. In order to access this database, I had to log into my CCNY email, right? So you cannot access any of these databases unless you have an active city mail email address. I think 100% of my students have this. If you don't know how to access this, you could email me, or a, a quick Google search always helps. You could figure out anything on Google. So I'd probably type in, I don't know my city email address onto Google, CCNY, blah, blah, blah. And it should give you a help page, right? Because I've done it before. I know it's there. Okay, so let us get out of the site. So I'm going to return back to the main one source page, library.ccny.cuny.edu. And now, where do I put myself? Okay, I'll just see myself here. Now we're gonna try out OneSearch. OneSearch is that main page right there. I think it's the same thing when I click on that. So it shows you like what you're searching. It lets you search in one place for books, articles, DVDs, CDs, and more. I didn't know they had DVDs and CDs, but I guess they kind of like updated a lot of things because of remote learning, which is pretty cool. I guess there is a positive to this whole pandemic. I don't know. City College One Search combines one search right for me. So it tells you when it's right for you. So if you're looking for a specific title, whether an article, book, it's good for you. If you want a combination of books or articles, or just starting your research. Yeah, so it's not like ideal for you if you're looking for specialized information, right? Within a specific discipline or academic field. So if you're trying to find statistics and stuff on diseases or something, you probably want to go to a medical database instead of going to one that's like academic. So if you already know like what specific field your research is going to be on, I'm assuming it's mostly in the humanities. For this specific class, you go to that specific database, right? Oh, cool. And then it says, if you're an undergraduate and want a few articles on a topic for a research paper, you might use Academic Search Complete or another general multidisciplinary databases. This seems like it's for you guys. I'll come back to this. Oh, this is the thing that I was on. Get out of here. You guys already know this. Cool. So I guess here you can search anything. I'm going to put Amy Tannigan, and see what pops up. Amy Tan, a critical companion. This was the first result that popped up for, what's that thing called? For the, EBSCOhost. That was the first result. I guess with this, with OneSearch, it has more benefits because it gives you more search results, but the only issue is that it's not, as specialized in whatever you're looking for as the previous one. Amy Tan, a critical companion, the opposite of faith, the opposite book of musing. So I guess these are things. Maybe what we can do is we could limit our searches to peer-reviewed journals because we want academic scholarly stuff. Burning Mouth Syndrome by Amy Tan. Okay, so I guess this is a medical thing. Again, we might want to narrow our search down some more to book chapters, news topic. So I don't want this. Show more humans, female, male, wow, technology, physical science, adults, social sciences, age. Hey, where's English? Where's literature? I don't even think we're recognized as a ethnic news watch. Okay, so you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to click on research. Let's see what pops up. Apply filters. sign in to get additional. Okay, so I'm going to sign in because they playing me. So for this one, I guess you log in with your CUNY credentials. You guys can't see my password. Okay, so maybe I should specify my search, a little advanced search, a little bit more. So Amy 10, any field, no. So I guess I can, again, do the same thing. Let's put Amy 10 in the title. Contains, is exact, starts with. Amy 10, language and literacy, why not? Search. Let's see if anything pops up. So things do pop up. So you have to specify your search and what you're looking for, and filter it a little bit to get whatever it is. So we have the sizing effects of canonicity, authorship, and the written word in Amy 10's novel. Daughter test, Amy 10, so easy to read. Amy 10, that's something that she wrote, why I write. Interesting. Analysis of Amy 10, okay. Peer review, journals, type filters. Only 3 searches. Okay, but let's see how this is different or similar to the last database that we. So again, you can view it online, and in order to in order to access these files from what do you call it, from one search, you have to go to a specific database. So it's going to take me to, I will go to Jstor, arts and sciences. What? It's crazy. Where do I go? And then you have to continue logging in to get access to it. So again, you click on login and you come here, and best of luck to you. Okay, so what I am going to do is I'm going to show you guys my favorite databases. So if I was a student in this specific course, I would probably go to so I would go back to the home page. I would click on research, go to databases. I would go to J to find Jstor. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. Oh, there you are. And it has different things. I don't go to Jstor Labs Text Analyzer. I don't even know what that is. Click on Jstor. Apparently, it's one of their most popular databases. And log in. Find my institution. So you gotta log in through your institution. City, College of New York. Search. Login. Oh. Okay, so now that I have access to it, let's see what I find on Amy 10. Ba-bum, 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 ba-bum. All right. So, representing history in Amy 10's The God's Wife, the Kitchen God's Wife. There's an interview with Amy 10, Fiction, The Beast That Roams. If I was someone that was interested in, like, how writers come up with certain ideas, I would probably click on that. There's a bunch of things here. Chinese and dogs and Amy 10's 100 secrets. Okay. The daughter text, mother text. Matrilineage is the name you tend to love club. Genocide. Alright, so some of these things have really catchy titles. Again, you could condense your search by using filters, so maybe journals. Most of these are academic peer reviewed anyway. It now helps me narrow down my search. Again, if I click on a specific article, I can read the whole thing. Lets me read it, but most likely you'd want to download it and read it on your computer because this is too small to read. Oh, you could expand it. Yeah, I guess they changed the formatting. And oh, that's interesting. What happened to it? I guess they changed a lot of things. This is her works cited page, but where is... Nah, I'm Kamodam. Kamodam. Okay. So I don't know what happened to their citation page. It used to be here. Guess it's not no more. Okay. Well, it doesn't matter anyway because you guys are supposed to be doing your citations yourself. But again, you know, if it helps, it's the information is all here. I guess all you have to do is kind of like reorganize it. Oh, stable URL, that's the URL, remote access. Oh, cite this item. There you go. Wow, it took me so long. Again, it just lets you automatically copy and paste it onto your works cited page. But again, and I will keep emphasizing this, you want to check over whether or not they do it in the correct formatting. Sometimes these databases do something weird and it doesn't look right. And most likely if it doesn't look right, it isn't right. So that's Jstor. Jstor is my favorite. Let me see what they have on corporal punishment, since that is something, I don't know. I think Samira pointed this out to me, and I find it such an interesting topic. Oh, they have a lot on it. And again, if you're looking into corporal punishment, I guess I'm talking to Samira directly, then you might want to focus on a specific region or a country like Bangladesh, India, wherever it is. I don't know if they have corporal punishment in Africa, but you want to focus on a specific region. That's one way of narrowing down some of your guys' topic, because you have topics like abortion. Well, you know, that's too broad. Are you asking yourself a specific question about abortion, specific political laws? Are you talking about a specific region where abortion is like a popular thing or it's not a popular thing? You want to narrow down your topic by a lot. Cool. And then the second database that I highly recommend to students, depending on, like, you know, if you're still within that humanities field, is Project Muse. That is my thing. Jstor is number one. Project Muse, it comes after, you know, if I can't find something on Jstor. I go to Project Muse. They have Project Gutenberg. Project Gutenberg is good for, like, you know, accessing books and stuff. So old books, ancient sort of works. Like, for example, I guess this is good. This is good information for you guys anyway, since you guys are students and you guys don't want to spend money. Like, let's say you want to read something that's written by Aristotle. Instead of like buying a whole book on it, you could probably find it on Project Gutenberg. Yeah, all you have to do is just type in the name. I think, well, let me see. Everything here is free. No, so I guess the criteria is that it can't have like some sort of copyright thing on it. But it's always good to look on Muse first, before Project Gutenberg first, before you buy a book. A lot of the time it's there. It's a book that... Let me see if I have that. Oh, wait. What's that book called? Gulliver's Travels. Yeah, so they have an audiobook of Gulliver's Travels. It's crazy. They have Gulliver's Travels in French. So if you're ever, if your professor tells you to buy a book on Gulliver's Travels, tells you to buy Gulliver's Travels, you don't have to. It's already on Project Gutenberg. I guess it has a certain criteria with the copyright laws. And also, and I guess maybe the author has to be dead. I don't know. There's also another website that lets you download books for free. I don't remember it anymore. And I'm not supposed to be recommending it to you guys anyway, but times are hard. Okay, so this is the specific database that I wanted you guys to look at, Project Muse. It's kind of like Jstor. Jstor is better in my opinion, but it's another resource that you might lean towards. Maybe I should copy the link just so I can have it for you guys later. So maybe I will put in language and literacy and see what pops up here. So you might want to hop across databases just to see, all the different sources of articles and materials that are out there. So the literacy of Black Columbus, that sounds interesting. I hate catchy names so much. It makes me want to read everything. Deaf culture and literacy. That's something that would interest me right now. The question of literacy. Maybe even type in Black English because June Jordan talks about it. I think it was in. I keep forgetting the name of that database. EBSCOhost integrated search, where I typed in Black English and it gave me a result for British Black English, which I thought was super interesting. If anyone decides to write on that, I think Talik said he was. A black belt anomaly, biracial corporation in Reconstruction era Perry County. Again, you might want to narrow down your search by playing around with the with the settings. I guess this solely depends on what kind of research you're doing, which is I can't say for every single one of you guys. Accept the cookies. I accept your cookies. Okay. Yeah, that's about it. I did want to point out though that I have a handout on our Google Drive folder that kind of lists the kind of criteria that you might want to fit each of these articles into. It's called Evaluating Sources handout. It's on our Google Drive folders. I'm sorry, it's in PDF. So whenever you're evaluating a source, you want to follow the CRAAP test. So C is for currency, the timeliness of the information. You want to consider whether or not you want more modern information or information that's written from the past, or whether or not it even matters for the kind of research that you're doing. So has this information been revised or updated? If you're looking into statistics, that's something that you might want to look into, whether or not the information has been updated and kept as modern as it possibly can be. Does your topic require current information, or will older sources work as well? Are the links functional? The little block here means that it indicates criteria for the web, right? So if they have links on the websites, you might want to click on them and see whether or not they're still functioning. Relevance. So the importance of information for your needs. Does the information relate to your topic or answer your question? Who is their intended audience? Is the information at an appropriate level, not too elementary or advanced for your needs? Have you looked at a variety of sources before determining this one is the one that you'll be using? Would you be comfortable citing this source in your research paper? There are certain sources that you might not want to include. Authority, right? So the source of the information, you might want to look into who the author, the publisher, the source, or the sponsor is, because sometimes, you know, I'm sure you guys have heard of this, but like when someone is conducting a study into something, you might want to look into like who is sponsoring that person, because the data can be skewed depending on where they're getting that financial, where they're getting that income from, right? So like 9 out of 10 doctors recommend Colgate. Well, were these doctors paid by Colgate, and like what it leaves out a certain specific, it leaves out important information. And you guys might be able to pick up on something. Does the URL reveal anything about the author or the source? Example, is it .com, .edu, .gov, .org, .net? It tells you a lot about where the specific information is coming from, right? Accuracy, is the information reliable, truthful, and correct on the content that it's delivering to you? So where is this information coming from? Is the information supported by evidence? Has the information been peer-reviewed or refereed? Can you verify any of the information in another source or from personal knowledge? Does the language or tone seem unbiased and free of emotion? We talked about this sometimes. Not everything is unbiased, right? And I think I gave you guys an example of that in class. Are there spelling, grammar, or typographical errors? Something you should consider. Meaning it probably wasn't peer-reviewed, right? If there's a lot of spelling and grammar issues going on. The purpose, the reason the information exists. What is the purpose of the information? Is it to inform, teach, sell, entertain, or persuade? Do the authors/sponsors make their intentions or purpose clear? Is the information fact, opinion, or propaganda? If you're looking into propaganda, that's probably something that you actually want. Does the point of view appear objective and impartial? Are there political, ideological, cultural, religious, institutional, or personal biases? I think a colleague was telling me about how one of her students wants to write about how, religion isn't really linked to terrorism. And she wants to do that by looking into the Middle East and then looking at the propaganda from the West. Where was I going with this? And it's kind of like, I think what she wants to point out to her student is that regardless of which country you're looking at, there will be some sort of biases going on, right? I guess I'll leave it there. I don't want to get too deep into that. Okay, and what is due for next class? I should have begun with this. So for next class, Monday, October 26th, I believe. These are the citations. I am sorry. I am so sorry. Don't. This is so much. This is so messy. Okay. Phase 3. So yeah, so for next class, you want to find 8 good sources and skim through them. You could use, like whatever we've discussed. You could use any of the databases we've discussed so far, or you could find one that you like and that you're comfortable with. I just wanted to show you guys how to navigate through it. And then in a single document, write 1 paragraph introducing your topic idea, list the 8 potential sources you'll use, and write another paragraph brainstorming on how these sources might help you explore the topic, and then I'd like you to submit it on Blackboard. So it's kind of like a proposal. And then I guess for next class, we'll talk about writing introductions and all the other cool stuff. Cool. So, thank you guys for, if you made it through this whole tutorial. How long was this? I'm not sure. If you made it through this whole thing, thank you for that. I hope this helped. Again, I am not a librarian, so I couldn't give you guys as much of like I couldn't give you guys like in-depth information, but I tried my best. I'll see you guys in class on Monday. Take care. Bye. Do I stop?